How did you accidentally catch your significant other? My husband came back from a trip 4 hours early. My wife was supposed to still be at work. I opened the door and saw her sitting topless on the couch, kissing a colleague. He ran out the door, and she ran into the bathroom and locked herself in. I sat on that couch for about an hour because I didn't know what else to do. Eventually, I left so she could come out of the bathroom and get dressed. I was on a business trip, supposed to be away for 10 days, but I managed to come home a day early. A friend picked me up from the airport so I could surprise my wife and our 2 kids, 2 years and 8 months old. I caught her then boyfriend comfortably lounging on the couch. My kids were in the same room. I was furious. Of course, she denied everything. We broke up a few weeks later. Yes, these days it happens a lot. Today they say they love you, tomorrow they're sleeping with your best friend. How not to fall for another jerk or slut? How not to be cheated on? The InstaSpy service lets you monitor anyone's activity on Instagram. InstaSpy can track who someone comments on, likes, and follows. You can see everything anonymously through the service. They won't even suspect it, even if they post stories only for close friends. With this service, you can definitely catch the cheaters. The first 24 hours cost just 1 ruble. Link in the description, check it out. I sent a message to our mutual friend asking to borrow a router. He didn't respond. No problem, he lives nearby. I can just stop by and grab it. I drove to his house and started pulling into his driveway. He has a long driveway like a country house, so it took a few seconds before I saw that my car, I was driving a work van that day, was already there. My heart sank, but my wife and he are friends and business partners. I got out of the van, looked, and saw through the window that my friend was shirtless in his bedroom. My heart completely sank. I was shaking. I went into the house and went straight upstairs. He was alone, had already dressed. I said, "Can I borrow the router? And have you seen my wife? Our car is here." He started giving the worst improvised excuse I've ever heard. Seriously. Yeah, she came by earlier today. Whatever. I knew she was there, I just wanted him to admit it. I went downstairs, grabbed the router, and headed for the van. I finally saw my wife, topless, trying to sneak out the side of his house. Her phone got a message from a friend who was with her in the kitchen. I figured one of them texted me. I unlocked her phone and saw a dick pic. Her friend didn't have a dick. Now I'm divorced and don't trust messages signed with friends' names. I caught my ex cheating thanks to Pokemon Go. She said Pokemon Go takes up too much memory. I showed her that she could check app storage and settings. I pointed out that Tinder was using way more space. Sad but funny how it came out. One night, she told me not to come over because she felt sick. Later, my sister needed to return a hoodie she had borrowed from my girlfriend. I decided to drop it off. I knocked. My girlfriend came to the upstairs window wrapped in a blanket. "Didn't I tell you not to come?" From her bedroom, a male voice said, "Who's that?" Oh, I understood everything. "We'll talk tomorrow," she said. Yeah, sure. My girlfriend dropped her phone and broke the screen. She asked me to back up her data and transfer it to her new Pixel. I used a backup app and found tons of explicit messages and nude photos with another guy. One of my ex-colleagues loaded a project file onto an SD card. He inserted it into a conference room computer and accidentally showed us a video of his wife with another man. We were stunned. This happened during a budget meeting with accountants and auditors. He sat silently as we watched. Finally, I turned off the projector. No one said a word. He got up, left, and drove across 3 states to his parents. He didn't show up to work for a week. This didn't happen to me but to my dad. A few years ago, some of my mom's relatives from out of town visited. They planned a board game night. My dad had to work from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. He finished early, ran into our nanny on the way home. "Aren't you babysitting?" "No, your wife called around 8 p.m. saying she wasn't feeling well and staying home." Dad tried the front door, locked. Lights off. He entered through the basement and heard them upstairs, my mom and her cousin. 2 years later, he almost left her but stayed for my sake. Honestly, I think he should have left working 90 to 100 hours a week just to avoid being home. I came back from work on Christmas Eve. We had tickets to a festival starting the day before New Year's. I couldn't find the tickets. Last time I saw them was a month ago. I checked the trash before throwing it out, found a used condom. We lived alone. My then girlfriend had computer issues and wanted to use my phone to access Facebook. No problem, I asked her to use Safari so I wouldn't have to log out of the app. A few days later, closing tabs, I saw her Facebook was still open. She'd been messaging her ex, John. They had hooked up in our bed and were planning to meet again. I'm not super jealous, so I didn't confront her right away. A couple of days later, we were making out. I whispered in her ear, "Don't forget to wear something nice for your date with John on Saturday." The look on her face was priceless. I put on my shirt and left while she cried and begged for forgiveness. I came home, no husband. It was 8 p.m. An hour earlier, he had texted me that he was heading home. Something felt off. I went to our female friend's apartment. He always said she was like a sister to him. His van was there. I knocked, no answer. Door was unlocked. I walked in, nobody. Heard noises from the bedroom. I entered and saw them. We tried to save the marriage for a couple of months, but I couldn't forget. We divorced 4 years ago. After trying to keep up with my wife and her colleagues drinking all night, I went to bed. A few minutes later, they stopped talking, and the dog started scratching the door. I let the dog in and saw them kissing on the couch. I watched for 10 minutes before they noticed me. By then, they were already undressing, and he was very familiar with her body. No excuses. I'm glad I found out. I was in a long-distance relationship. My girlfriend sometimes disappeared but kept texting me. Lately, she refused to visit. I went to a party hosted by a friend. His friend said my friend had a new girlfriend. I was surprised he hadn't mentioned it. I asked who it was. She introduced me, it was my girlfriend. She'd been telling everyone we broke up and had been dating my friend for about a month without telling me. This didn't happen to me but to my best friend. His girlfriend brought a guy into the only bedroom in their apartment while my friend played Xbox in the living room. I heard their argument through his mic. When he heard strange noises from the bedroom, he kicked her out and kept playing. For those saying he deserved it because of a gaming addiction, no. He plays occasionally when he has free time. She was just a horrible person. After catching them, he told us what happened over the mic. We convinced him to stay and talk it out. We lived in different countries and couldn't visit. He's a great guy and didn't deserve this. Now he's in a healthy relationship with a wonderful woman. I found out my then boyfriend was cheating when I visited his apartment. He lived with his mom and 2 younger sisters, both in elementary school. The youngest asked, "When did you leave?" I asked, "When was I here?" She said, "Last night. I heard you talking to X's name all night. I hadn't been there for 2 days." I asked him what she was talking about. After a few minutes of stammering, he admitted it. Goodbye. One day my husband was leaving for work and wanted to take his GoPro. I thought it was odd. Why take a GoPro to work? While he was in the shower, I swapped his camera with mine, planning to check the files. I had suspicions because he had recently gone on a guy's trip to the Philippines. I turned on the camera and found 3 videos, him with a Filipino escort, posing for the camera like a porn star. I was furious, but it was hilarious watching that idiot act like a pro. Not me but my best friend. He was celebrating his birthday and invited lots of people. He got pretty drunk, spilled beer on his shirt, and decided to change. He asked me to come upstairs, he wanted to tell me something privately. He opened his bedroom door and saw his boss screwing his fiancée. I'll never forget their faces. Silence, then the classic, "It's not what it looks like." His boss got dressed and I kicked him out of the party. The jerk even took one last drink before leaving.